walking alone in the middle of the night. We shine brighter than a diamond. We were strangers at the start, now we can't be apart.
Hey guys, we're back today with another tutorial. I want to go ahead and apologize on the front end for the delay between this one and the previous one I posted. I've had some things come up, been pretty busy with other stuff in life. And that's just the way it goes sometimes, but things are looking good. I should be able to get some more stuff out in a little bit quicker of a sequence coming up here. So keep an eye out for that. Today we're going to kind of expand upon what we looked at in the very first kind of automated trading video where we're using Python and this Alpaca Trade API to make a bot that's going to create trade stocks for us. So last time, just to review a little bit, we went on the website, we kind of set up our account and how to get these keys and get access to the API, where to look for that documentation that we need to know how to use the API, and then we went ahead and did pretty much the simplest thing you can do, which is we went ahead and submitted an order here to buy a share of Apple. And then we went ahead and had it pull this information from our account and print out our position so that now we can see that we own this share of Apple. Today, sadly, I'm not going to be able to run the code that we're looking at next, as I am currently running some other stuff in the background. If you see up here at the top, I'm working on doing similar stuff with crypto, since Alpaca has opened up crypto in their API, which is pretty awesome. And I'm going to be making a video on that as soon as I can get around to it. But I wanted to get out with a second video on this first to kind of get a little bit more in depth on how you can use this to have it make some decisions rather than just placing an order when you run the script. So today I've already written all this up, so we're just going to kind of talk through it together. If you want, obviously, you can just pause the video, take stuff down, kind of see how it works in your own, play with it. But I'm just going to be talking through it a little bit. Try to make it pretty quick. Don't want to like waste time or add too much fluff in here. So we're using the same key and secret, and just so you know, these are not my API keys anymore. I regenerated some new ones after the last video. But what we're going to look at this time is taking a little bit of user input and then using that user input to kind of make some decisions and have that kind of make our bot a little bit more like actually autonomous. Because the last one was really just we press enter, it runs, it does what we said, and it stops. So here, what we're going to do is you're going to enter price at which to buy Apple. So what's going to happen there is we're going to hold on to this for later. And it's pretty much equivalent to you placing like a limit order where it's like buy Apple at this price. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to know what stocks are currently in our portfolio if there's already some in there, because this is meant to be run at any point, so you could already have stuff in your portfolio. So we're going to get these positions. This is written a little poorly. This is assuming that we only own Apple. So you'd have to add some other stuff in here, and we can talk about that in the future for if you're doing this with multiple stocks. But right now, we're assuming you're only trading Apple on this account. So you're going to pull and then see if you're currently owning Apple. So what this is doing, you're pulling all of your positions, something similar to what we did in the last time. You're looking at that first position indexed at 0. And if the position symbol is Apple, that means we own it because it's in our positions, our list of positions. So what we're doing here, this is a pretty neat little feature that Alpaca has in their API. You can do this unrealized profit loss percentage. That's what that PLPC stands for. And it's in a decimal, not in a percentage, not in like an integer. So that's something to be mindful of. You don't want to put 5 because that would mean 500%. So what we're doing here is if our profit loss, if we've gained more than 5%, or we've lost more than 5%, we're going to go ahead and sell it. So what this is kind of equivalent to is if you place a trade at a certain strike price, right? And then you have your take profit at 5% above and your stop loss at 5% below. Not typically a strategy you would see done, just kind of for example's sake. And what we're going to do is then sell position.quantity. What we're getting that from is up here when we first got our position. We're using it to get the symbol here and see we have Apple. And then to get the quantity is going to be how many of that you own. So we're just going to sell all of it. And what we're going to do then is kind of keep running this cycle to keep making trades based off of the price that we're buying at. So if we don't own Apple already, it's going to go ahead and check the price of the stock. So we're going to do some stuff right here. We're going to pull the bar set on the minute, and then get that -1. What that's doing is indexing at the end of that bar set and getting the close, because each bar will give you the open and the close. So you want to get the very last bar, the close will give us the most recent price. If our float, just casting it into a float because it comes in as a string, of the hour close is less than our buy price, so this price that we put in up here, we're going to go ahead and buy some Apple based off of that condition. So in order to do that correctly, we're going to get our account right here and then pull our balance by checking our buying power. So that's what that we're really doing here, is figuring out how much of Apple we can buy based off of this balance that we have and the most recent price of Apple. So that's what this amount is being calculated based off of. And then we're just placing a buy order to buy that amount of Apple for market price on that day. And what you really want to do then is put this all into a loop, which I didn't do in this example here, but it's really just as simple as like adding a while true and then continuing the loop. And really, this wouldn't be something that I would do in a loop in terms of like have somebody enter a price and then continually buy at that price or below that price, because that doesn't really make sense as the market trends up and down, goes different directions. So really what you want to do is have this, we'll just go ahead and put it in here, have this while true, and then all of this would be in your loop. And then additionally in this loop, we'd probably have some kind of way, whether we're pulling the current price and looking for like a dip, or if we're pulling data from somewhere else in terms of like we want to look at moving averages or other technical indicators, or we can calculate those ourselves too. I've found so far that it's a little bit thankless, I would say, to calculate them yourself as opposed to just going and pulling it from somewhere where it's freely available already, because then you just don't have to worry about writing all that code. It gets constantly updated. So it's just something that's pretty easy and a good way to do it. And that's something we're going to look into in the next one. I just kind of wanted to make this one as a little kind of filler episode to let everybody know that I'm still here and show kind of the direction that we're going. We'll probably have 1 or maybe 2 more episodes in this specific series in terms of showing how we're going to do this. Like, we'll just type in here now, price update. So we're going to do something here, whether it's web scraping, whether it's pulling data from Alpaca and using it to calculate moving averages, or doing it based off of price movement. But we're going to have some code in here that we'll put in for the next episode on how to get that price update, and then how to maybe make some profitable trades in your algorithm based off of that price movement. But yeah, for now, that's kind of all I wanted to cover in terms of just a couple more functionalities of Alpaca that are really important to making this all work in the end. And we'll have another episode, and probably 2 more episodes coming out. One covering this price update kind of algorithm that we're going to write up, and then another one kind of synthesizing everything and putting it together and letting it go out in the world and see what it does. I've written 4 or 5 different versions of my own stock trading bot right now, and some of them have been profitable a little bit, some of them haven't. Some of them have like really good runs, and then all of a sudden the market will turn around from an uptrend to a downtrend, and it just tanks. So there's a lot of stuff to consider. I would definitely recommend doing a lot of experimenting before you put anything into actual practice on real markets, not just paper markets. But the paper trading is a really good way to kind of test stuff out, play around with it, and not have to worry about losing your money. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one here. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and post some starter kind of code and stuff on the InvestorBot website, as well as I've written some more blog posts kind of covering some topics like this. So if that's of any interest to you, check it out over there. If you enjoyed or got something from this video, would really appreciate leaving a like. Subscribe if you want to come back and see the rest of these tutorials, and then some like crypto trading tutorials in the future. And yeah, other than that, have a great day. Thank you so much for making it this far, and I will see you in the next one.